The companies that we focus on are typically managed and run by entrepreneurial families and founders. They have the potential to grow into large and expanding markets, and with a competitive position are able to generate significant returns on capital. What really excites us about these companies is that they are often overlooked, and these are what we would call Europe's hidden champions. They are more often than not mid-sized B2B businesses in Scandinavia, Germany and Switzerland, but in reality we've found them scattered throughout Europe. What is common to them all though is that they dominate the industries that they operate in, they provide fantastic innovation and value to their customers, and importantly to us, are extremely undervalued.
A good example of a hidden champion might be a company called Sartorius AG. Now, Sartorius is hardly a household name, but it's actually one of the world's leading providers of specialist equipment used in the manufacture of biological drugs. Its technologies actually lower the costs for developers and manufacturers. So it's both benefiting from the fact that biological drugs are an expanding part, a growing part of global healthcare spending, but it's also enabling that growth by making it easier to bring new drugs to market and make existing drugs available to a broader population of patients. So while the company's origins date back to the 19th century, it's actually still controlled by the descendants of its founder, Florence Sartorius. The stability that ownership structure provides has enabled the management teams of that company to keep their focus firmly on the long term and invest accordingly.
If you ask me what the best company in Europe, or at least the best industrial company in Europe was, I would have to say Atlas Copco. This was founded in Stockholm over 140 years ago, but even today it offers a great example of what Europe does really well. Its air compressors and power tools can be found scattered throughout factories across the world. However, it really is the benchmark in terms of quality, in terms of customer service, and in terms of energy efficiency. It offers a lot of the things that we look for in an investment. It is the market leader in large and fragmented markets. It has loyal customers and generates remarkable returns on capital. But what's really special about the company is its culture. It has long-term family owners who think in decades rather than years, and it has an extremely decentralized and entrepreneurial organization which enables it to adapt and innovate quickly. When our clients first invested in Atlas Copco well over 30 years ago, it was probably considered a classic hidden champion. And despite the remarkable and significant growth since then, we still think that the company is being overlooked by investors.
Zooplus is Europe's leading online pet food retailer. So if you want a bag of dog or cat food delivered to your house on time at the lowest possible price, this is where you go. The exciting thing about Zooplus is really the size of its growth opportunity. Over the last decade, its revenues have increased roughly 20-fold, yet online penetration remains below 10%. We believe online penetration still has a long way to grow, and Zooplus, as the dominating player in the industry, stands to be the main beneficiary of this. So we believe its revenues could increase another 5-fold over the next decade. Zooplus is run by one of its founders, who also still owns around 5% of the company. And we believe his strategy of sharing economies of scale with consumers by lowering prices is absolutely spot on. This is what has allowed Zooplus to stay ahead of the competition, including Amazon. Zooplus is still relatively unknown, which is something we like. But the main point here is really the fact that we have the opportunity to own a great business with a long runway for growth for the long haul.
When you find these companies, to generate these exceptional returns, you need to buy and hold on to them. But to be able to do that, you need to really trust the managers and owners of the businesses to act in the right way. In many ways, this is very much like choosing a fund manager. You need to be able to trust them to put clients first and to stick to a disciplined process to generate long-term value. But by doing this, you are able to ignore a lot of the noise and volatility in the market and really share in the ingenuity and long-term success of some of Europe's most amazing businesses.